Fresh crack of the Coke Zero. It is 1st of February, guys. We are 1 month away from footy. So exciting. Trials are coming up in 2 weeks, but I'll have a quick sip. Can't beat a fresh Coke Zero, guys. Can't beat it. But welcome back, Tackles and Tinnies listeners, to the 2025/2026 preview/review for every single team. We're going in detail for the guys who've been following along. I hope you've been enjoying the series. Some of these videos that you guys have been commenting on have been fantastic conversation starters, and I think today's one is going to be quite juicy. We are doing the Canterbury Bulldogs. I've already reached out to you guys probably a week ago now regarding a certain player in a certain position and maybe a complete spine shake-up. We'll get to that later on in the podcast, but let's get straight into the full thick of it, guys. So, Canterbury Bulldogs 2025 season snapshot. Where do they finish on the ladder? They were third with 16 wins and 8 losses with a point differentiation of 120 points. They had 38 competition points. They had the 10th best attack and the best defense. They were unreal in defense. They only conceded 414 points. Their attack, however, was their kryptonite. And again, when we talk about some of these potential position swaps, attacking structure changes, that's probably why, again, 10th in attack is not ideal for a top 4 team, let alone a premiership winning team, especially when you're versing guys like the Bulldogs, when you're versing the Broncos, the Raiders, the Storm. Okay, these are the top echelon teams. You can even throw the Sharks in there. These are the sort of guys that we need to be looking at in regards to attack. Bulldogs aren't on that level yet, and we'll talk about that 2025, how it felt. So in regards to defense, no worries. I loved it. Stephen Crichton, one of their best hard-nosed running forwards, very mobile forwards, and their pack's only getting better with a couple of players coming in, which we'll talk about very shortly. Did they feel like a premiership winning team? Yes, at times. However, they pretty much rolled the dice and they were hoping for monumental upside in regarding to their changes. I don't think those changes paid off, and we'll get to that right now. So in their attack, again, they became 10th. Burden's long kicking game, the Burden bomb, as we all know, I thought that was unreal. Stephen Crichton had the class of one of the best centers in the game. We know he's the best defensive center, but he's up there with Herbie Farmworth in regards to attack. I remember some vivid plays where the Bulldogs were down and Critter, being the captain that he is, he's like, give me the pill and I'm going to make something happen. That could be a little indicator on where I'm sort of leaning towards later on in the podcast regarding the best 19. Their edges in regards to Kickout and Preston, when they were healthy and when they were on the field, I thought they were unreal. I thought Bronson Cherry was also fantastic when he was given early ball. Again, 2 dynamic centers, unreal. I thought Jacob Carraz obviously had some injury concerns throughout the year, but he was definitely one of your best players. Were you pumping teams? No. Were you choke holding teams? Yes. So defense. Defense wins championships. However, you probably got to be in the top 6 in attack. You guys weren't there, unfortunately. Yeah, but again, your defense is amazing. And I think it's only going to get better as systems become more checked, and especially with Galvin getting more time in the off-season. I think it's only going to help you. And maybe some extra cattle coming in is only going to beef up those forward stocks as well, which we'll get to shortly. The narratives. Good attack, mediocre in defense. Mediocre attack is the kryptonite for any team. Essentially, you got to roll the dice to see if it sticks. You flung the pasta against the wall, and it wasn't cooked just yet. It just fell off the wall. Poor analogy, but that's what it is. But I want to probably dive a little bit deeper in regards to some of those mid to late season changes that you went in. So probably the first major change was obviously acquiring Lachie Galvin. Okay. So Lachie Galvin came to West Tigers. I went deep dive into that, guy. So go check my West Tigers preview/review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Go check that one out. I did a full segment on that, breaking that down. So I'm not going to repeat that one. But obviously you guys got the benefit of the upside of Lachlan Galvin. You had the steady hand of Toby Sexton. Was he a premiership winning half? Probably didn't have the upside of that. If I had to give a rating, he's a B-rated halfback. Solid, top tier? No. I guess you have to swing for the fences, which you guys did in acquiring Lachlan Galvin. I did feel like Galvin's still obviously so young. He's so young, but he's a 5'8" in my eyes at this stage of his career. Matt Burton is also a 5'8". You don't have that halfback currently. If you have those two in the halves, again, you can sort of tell the narrative I'm getting at later on. But you also made a change with Reed Mahoney. He lost the hooking position role. He got out of favour. And Bailey Hayward obviously took that position in. Bailey Hayward, tackle bot, definitely can be a bit of a utility as well. He definitely played some 6. He played some 13, played some utility off the bench, and then eventually got that starting 9 role. Definitely projected to be the starting 9 for the 2026 season. I think he has not monumental upside. Again, he's a B-rated player at this stage of his career. Can he get to that A? Potentially. Coach Serraldo is amazing, and he's been proven to be very, very good in developing certain types of players. We'll see. The third big change, and I think this is the biggest change and had the most upside, but probably didn't have enough time to gel, and obviously the injury didn't help you guys either. But that was your captain, Stephen Crichton, shifting to fullback when you got into attacking ball, so around the red zone or the 30-meter line roughly. Yeah, Stephen Crichton then shifted to fullback. I think that's a clear indicator where you guys are going for the 2026 season. I would love to see him be fullback for 2026. I posted it on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I got some epic feedback and some slander and some positive reinforcement as well. I had both sides of the spectrum regarding Stephen Crichton going to fullback. I think he just has more upside. Connor Tracey, again, you're changing a position in the middle to the back end of the season, more so the back end of the year with Stephen Crichton's role to fullback. Definitely hurt himself at the back end, missed those last couple of games, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Stephen Crichton, he has the upside. I think he's ready. He's in his mid-20s, fantastic defensive player, very good communicator. He's your captain. He can pop up either side of the field. Do you want him getting rubbish ball and doing those junkyard runs? I don't see why not, especially so he's pretty durable as well. I think he's ready. I think he wants that responsibility. What do you guys think? Again, I've had this question on socials already, but for the people who haven't seen it, I want you guys to comment here. Does Stephen Crichton fit the bill of a fullback? And we'll talk about that later on in the top 19 for our best fielders squad. But I think the squad balance looked better. It was clunky because you guys didn't have enough reps with Crichton there. So I think that's just the biggest question. Moving forward, I think an off-season at fullback will do him wonders, personally. But to wrap up 2025, too many changes too quickly. Did the experiment work with the changes? You could probably say no. However, I would like to see them persevere with these changes. And obviously, Reed Mahoney's not the club anymore. So Bailey Hayward's got that lock and load position. But I would like to see some changes to beef up your guys' attack. I think you guys have to agree 10th in attack isn't good enough for a premiership winning team. So let's get straight into roster movement, guys, for your 2025 season. So you gained Satili Tupanul from the Roosters. I thought that was a huge get. He's your hybrid edge / middle. We can play middle in a pinch, but definitely prefer on an edge. Poor Satili. Like, he's been injured. He's been suspended. He had a horrid 2025 season in regards to injury and suspension. But when he did play, I thought he was unreal. He's one of the best line runners in the game. So good in contact. He's just got Jacob Preston and Kiko in front of him. Those two boys are just better than him. Again, I don't think he's going to get a front row position. I don't think he's going to get that lock position. Definitely starter potential. But yeah, didn't get that opportunity too far in between. But again, if there's an injury, Satili's straight into that starting role. Marcelo Montoya, I thought he was a fantastic get from the Warriors. Didn't know he was so good at podcasting, guys. He's a great communicator. Him and his partner, quite funny. The banter that they have, rate it highly. But I thought Montoya provided great yardage for you guys, particularly being a smaller pack. I thought Montoya did very well for you guys in that regard. Great pickup from the Warriors. Tuala didn't get too many games, but again, you need depth. You need depth in the outside backs. Another guy that we definitely need to be talking about is Lachlan Galvin. You picked him up mid-season. Huge monumental upside, only getting better. Guys, he ran the Bronco. He's got the PB for the Bronco run, I should emphasize that. That's the 20, 40, 60, 5 times, the 1.2K time trial. Lachlan Galvin got 4 minutes, 12 seconds. Crazy. My best is 5:01 and he's 40 seconds in front. So he's probably like a lap and a half in front of me, which is crazy, man. That's actually crazy. Lachlan Galvin, fit as fiddle. I'm just going to say it's his young legs. He's like 20 years old. So they're probably the main guys to talk about in regards to your 2025 gains. Your losses, you lost Addo Carr, probably one of your bigger ones. Didn't have the best couple of years with the Doggies, in my opinion. Had a huge resurgence at the Eels and obviously got that call up for the Kangaroos at the end of the year. I thought he was very, very good for the Ashes. Could be smoky chat next year for a wing spot for New South Wales. Maybe we talk about that in the questions underneath, guys. Does Addo Carr have a shot at a wing position if Lomax doesn't get back in the NRL? Let me know in the comments. So, guys, for the people who haven't heard of my podcast before, what I like to do, I go on to NRL.com. I get all the contracts, the contracts for your team. So, for example, I'm going to go through all the 2026 guys who are currently contracted for this year, and then I'll talk about the guys who extended past the 2026 season. I might talk about guys who are a little bit more relevant to your squad. So let's get straight into it regarding 2026 guys who are contracted. So Connor Tracey, he's your fullback currently. He can play wing. He can play center. He's Mr. Fix-It. He's Mr. Reliable. Is he Mr. X-Factor? No. No, he's not Mr. X-Factor in my opinion. He definitely deserves a contract extension. I would like to see him still be in the 17 or the top 19. Maybe at center. Okay, but he's there to 2026. Daniel Soleka Fafita, he's there 2026. Tuwala 2026. Jack Todd 2026. Jonathan Sewer 2026. Josh Curran, he's there at the end of this year, but guys, he's gone to Perth Bears. I think it's a great pickup for the Bears. Kate Dykes 2026. Kurt Mann, Origin call-up in 2025 from Billy Slater. Did a very good job for the Queensland Maroons. I thought he was fantastic in Game 3. But yeah, definitely is a contract extension. He's in his early 30s. I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize in advance. Lee Poi Hopoi. He's at 2026. I'm pretty sure he got 1 or 2 games in first grade. Marcelo Montoya definitely needs a contract extension. I thought he was fantastic. He should be a mainstay in your team. Patrick Young, 2026. Sam Hughes. Yeah, he was a bit of a super coach nuff there in the 2024 season. Didn't get too many games in 2026 or much relevancy in there. Sean O'Sullivan, he's come from the Dolphins. He's there 2026. And Zion. I've heard really good things about Zion. Still very young. Does he get a chance in first grade this year? Probably not. I think you guys are pretty settled. However, I've heard big things. Guys, let me know how you think Zion's going to go in 2026. Does he get a first grade debut this year? Does he leave the club potentially to find greener pastures to get that chance? Let me know in the comments. Now, guys who are contracted past the 2026 season, so Bailey Hayward, he's contracted to the end of 2028. He's going to be your hooker. He can definitely play some 13. I think he's going to be fantastic for you guys this year. Bronson Cherry, what a redemption story. Again, he served his time off the field, and my God, he paid dividends and showed that he earned his keep. In other words, he earned his keep. But yeah, 2027. Finau Latu, he's there to 2028. Definitely probably going to get a chance sometime this year. Harry Hayes, big contract. He signed in 2029. Probably should be getting a chance sometime this year as well. Jacob Carraz, gun. Absolute super coach gun at least. Injuries. He had obviously that back injury. I think came back around round 5. Had some other ailments throughout the year. If he can stay healthy, he's definitely one of the best outside backs in the comp. He can play wing, center, fullback. Definitely prefer him on the wing. His meter readage and his offloads were fantastic for you guys. Jacob Preston got a call up for the Kangaroos. Didn't manage to get a minute. However, obviously has that upside there. Should be better. Should be better this year as well. Does he get a chance for New South Wales this year? Time will tell. Jamin Salmon, yeah, he's just a plotter, but yeah, he definitely does a role. He's got that aggro. He's got that niggle, Reed Mahoney-esque type vibe. Yeah, weak-gutted dog. Pretty sure that's him. So, yeah, that's, James Salmon for you. Lachlan Galvin signed end of 2028. Young, unproven at halfback. Would love to see more reps there. There's another guy who we're about to talk about who probably complements his game a little bit better, but we'll get to that shortly. Leo Thompson, massive get. You needed a middle. You needed an alpha male. You needed a big bop. You need that enforcer. Leo Thompson is that in folds. Is he a super coach gun? No. Definitely not. Is he an enforcer? Is he going to provide intimidation and mongrel? James Fisher-Harrow-esque? Definitely. Great pickup, 2029. Matty Burden, end of 2027. Now, played a little bit of center. He's a former Dally M Center of the Year. You're sort of getting what I'm picking down, guy, or are you picking up what I'm putting down? I think there might be a positional change for Matt Burden in 2026. Maybe potential early release if he doesn't like playing center. But again, he's a gun. He's fast. He's a big body. Can tackle well. Got a fantastic kicking game. Can goal kick. Unreal. Could he be Perth Bears 2027? Not sure. But again, where do you guys see Matt Burden in 2026? Let me know. Max King got an origin call-up from Laurie Daly for the New South Wales Blues. I thought he was a bit of a mainstay. So now you've got Leo Thompson and Max King in the front row. Pretty solid, guys. You should be very happy with that. And a very, very nice guy. All accounts anyway. Now, Mitchell Woods. Halfback, young gun, coming through the ranks. Is he ready for first grade? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. All signs pointing yes. I mean, Lachlan Galvin got thrown to the Wolves early on in his career and then he popped off. So that's obviously good signs. Does he complement Lachlan Galvin better in the halves? Yes. Lachlan Galvin can then shift to 5'8". Mitchell Woods goes a halfback. You're running a very inexperienced 5'8" halfback combination. Very Canberra Raiders-esque with Ethan Strange and either Sanders, who would most likely to start there, with Kobe Black right up, hovering around there, but he's got a bit of an injury currently. But Mitchell Woods for the Bulldogs, I do see him debuting. Does he start the start of the year? I was tossing and turning. I was asking everyone, all my mates, asking some diehard Bulldogs fans online. I don't think he starts the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he started the year, but he definitely will be playing at some point during this year. Guys, let me know in the comments, does Mitchell Woods start at halfback in round 1? Let me know in the comments. So Tili Tupanua, I've already glazed him a little bit, but he's been fantastic coming from the Roosters. He's there to 2028. Can play edge, can play middle, can play center in a pinch if need be. Great ball runner, very athletic, destructive in contact. I would love to see him start. I've always had an affinity for Tupanua. But yeah, very good impact off the bench currently in regards to his role. Your captain, Stephen Crichton. Critter, gun. 1A, 1B, Herbie Farmworth, Stephen Crichton. Could be 1A, 1A. Personally, Stephen Crichton has gone leaps and bounds since going to the Bulldogs in regards to developing leadership, creating winning culture within your club. 2031, guys. That's enough said. He's there for the next 6 years. You should be ecstatic. I want him at fullback. I'm going to keep saying it this podcast, guys. I want Stephen Crichton at fullback. He is ready. He's ready. He's going to pop off. Trust me. If he goes to fullback, I reckon you guys are definitely a chance for a prelim final. Yeah, he goal kicks. He's got that aggro in him. Best defender. Great ball runner. He suffocates defense. He's ready. Get Critter to fullback. I keep saying it. Viliami Kikau. He's at a 2028. Gun. Absolute gun. Very destructive. So intimidating. Takes a few boys to get him down to the ground. What more to say about Kikau? When he's healthy, he's great. Obviously, he had that head knock with the eye. That was a bit upsetting to see. That sort of inhibited his finals run. However, a lot of courage to continue on with that. I think it was a fractured eye socket. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments. But yeah, Kikau, gun, great leadership, winning pedigree. Again, similar to Critter, coming both from Penrith Panthers. Pretty good roster. Not going to lie, guys, you got a pretty damn good roster. So I'll quickly sum up your games. Leo Thompson for 2026. Sean O'Sullivan, Fletcher Baker, Gordon Chan Kontong. Does he get a bench spot? to help Bailey Hayward at hooker. Wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. Fletcher Baker, great pickup as well in my eyes. Kay Dykes, probably not. Maybe. Kay Dykes could get a sniff at fullback, but again, I think Stephen Crichton is your guy. I'm going to keep saying it. And again, your losses for 2026, Reed Mahoney, he's gone to Cows. Toby Sexton's doing a gap year. He's gone on a Kentucky tour in Europe. He's gone to Catlins, but then coming back to Perth Bears. Blake Taff, he's gone to Castleford. Curtis Moran, he's gone to my beloved Gold Coast Titans. I think he's going to be very serviceable, particularly now that Jamin Jolliffe has got that ACL injury. Blake Wilson, utility outside back, he's gone to Manly. Again, go check out that Manly review if he gets that top 19. And Luke Smith come from London, and Joseph O'Neill, he's gone to the Dragons. More so depth pieces, guys. So, 2025 under and over performances. The glaze continues, guys. Stephen Crichton, glaze galore. He was fantastic. Fantastic for Origin. Shame he didn't play in the Pac Nations. I tell you what, he would have made a significant difference for you guys there. I reckon you probably would have won if Critter was there. But I tell you what, Critter, Hammer, potentially Tino, all coming to play for Samoa. Scary times for Australia and New Zealand and Tonga. More so the other two. But yeah, Stephen Crichton, amazing. Marquee signing, captain, goal kicker, probably potential fullback. You can play him anywhere. You can play 5'8". He's just a gun. He's a footballer. Jacob Preston, obviously New South Wales as well. Absolute gun. Jacob Preston, when he was healthy, fantastic, great ball runner, can play left side, can play right side. Probably prefer him on that right edge. But yeah, absolute gun when he was available. I thought Josh Curran was very serviceable. He's a modern day front rower in my eyes. Can definitely play some back row. Definitely prefer him in the middle. However, he will be a big loss in 2027. Connor Tracey, Mr. Fix-It, Mr. Can-Do, Mr. I can play center, wing, fullback. Again, did very serviceable job at fullback. Can play center in a pinch. Obviously, you're playing two positions in the middle of a game. That says enough about Connor Tracey and his acclimate of being a footballer. Underwhelming or question marks, I thought Lachlan Galvin needs to be talked about slightly here. I don't think he was very good at halfback. He definitely tried. There was definitely not a lack of trying. Again, it comes down to chemistry. He wasn't there. Didn't have an off-season. Minimal training, learning combinations, injuries, coming off the bench, the scandal, obviously, all the talk, getting accustomed to a new system. Can't blame the guy. Reed Mahoney, I thought he's been underwhelming. Obviously got out of favour there with Coach Seraldo. Yeah, serviceable. I think a fresh start for both parties is going to be unreal. I think Reed Mahoney for Super Coach could be due for a bounce back. Currently not in my team for Super Coach, but yeah, very good chance that he gets up to 550k. Very underpriced, in my opinion, currently. I thought, they're probably the main guys. I thought overall, guys, you were pretty bloody good. Like, everyone stepped up. Again, you had some question marks regarding your attack, but you can't bag your defense. The best in the league. Yeah, I think probably the best moment for me probably comes down to the resiliency Kickow had. When he had that eye fracture, the eye socket fracture, him wanting to come back and play through that and then come back the next week was very, very brave and very admirable. You guys didn't have much momentum going into finals. And him doing that, putting his body on the line for the boys, I think that's monumental to what he has about winning, about the culture that the Dogs are starting to have. I love it. I think that's probably the best moment. I know it's not a razzle-dazzle highlight, but I think that's probably important to note, to be honest. So rookies and players to watch. Again, definitely a player to watch is Lachlan Galvin. Yeah, we've already talked about him. Is he a 5'8"? Is he a halfback? Could he play lock eventually one day? He's definitely a footballer. Bona fide footy player. But does he play 7 long term? No, I don't think he does. And the guy or rookie to watch is Mitchell Woods. Young gun coming through. Again, we talked about his kicking game, his passing game. Would help Lachie Galvin get off ball. Nathan Cleary to Jerome Luai. Same thing in my eyes. Obviously, can't compare the two because the other two are premiership winning dynamos. But these two guys could be the next half combination for the next 10 years. Okay. Kay Dykes, again, potential to get a starting fullback position if everything goes his way in regards to injuries. Could maybe play some 6. Could be utility off the bench for that starting 19. Again, we'll talk about the rule change or potential rule change. Belandy, sort your shit out, mate. What's happening with the top 19? Yeah, another guys to watch potentially is Leo Thompson. Again, coming from the Newcastle Knights, enforcer, alpha dog, big gun, aggression, exactly what you needed. You signed him long term. Is he a stat sheet stuffer? No. But does he provide aggression and that forward momentum that you lacked? Yes. So, guys, 2026 strength of schedule. So, this is from Fox Sports. So, you can go check out all my other podcasts that I've done so far. Again, we've gone from the worst team all the way to the best team. I'm leaving the Melbourne Storm and Broncos to last because they're the grand finalists. So, I thought that's more appropriate. But everyone else is pretty much in order. I've done a couple with Chris and Morgan, who are diehards. The Broncos one is going to absolutely pop off. I reckon there's going to be like 10 blokes in there. But yeah, Melbourne Storm also is going to be a good one. So again, check them out in the future. So like, subscribe, share, you know the deal. Got to say it several times, to be honest. But yeah. But anyway, Fox Sports, strength of schedule. So what Fox Sports has done, they've looked at who you played in 2025 in regards to, are they a top 8 team? Are they a top 4 team? Are they a bottom 4 team? Where your home games lying for 2026? Where the bye schedule for 2026? Are the origin games affecting you? Have you got an early season bye, late season bye, etc., etc.? Essentially, they synthesize all that information and give you a number. In that number, 1 being the hardest, 17 being the easiest. Guys, your strength of schedule for 2026 is 6. Not ideal. Not ideal. You got the 6th hardest schedule. So, teams that you'll play twice in 2026. You got the Rabbitohs. Should be better. Should be a top 8 team. Panthers, we know what they are. Half your team's from bloody Penrith, to be honest. But yeah, Panthers, top 4 team. Dragons, they'll be an irritant. I don't project them to be in the top 8, but they'll definitely be an irritant. Raiders, came first last year in regards to the regular season. Will there be some regression in regards to no Jamal Fogarty? Potentially, but obviously you got so many young guns coming through. Raiders should still be like a top 6 team. Brisbane Broncos, guns. They're bloody Hollywood. They are the X factor. They've got strike across the park. They're going to only get it better with confidence. They've got another year under Madge Maguire. Got some young boys coming through the ranks. Didn't really lose anyone too drastically. Obviously, Cobbo, but you got older halves and Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds. Hey, they got a guy called Reece Walsh. I don't know if you heard of him, but yeah, he's pretty bloody good. West Tigers, definitely some improvement should be had there. Got some new recruits in. Another year under Benji. Sorted out their management as well. I think that's a big thing. The Lachlan Galvin situation's done. They got a bit more stability within their halves with Luai and Dewey. And then you got Latu coming off the bench. They should be better. Top 8, maybe. Things got to go their way. Melbourne Storm, guns. Top 4, obviously lost Pappenhausen. That's a huge loss, but they got a young fella in Suafa Longo. Not a 1-for-1, but he provides a different sort of energy and spark. I think Longo for the Storm are going to be fantastic. Lost Nelson, but he probably got suspended more games than he played. And you've lost Eli Katoa as well. That's a big, big loss. It's hard to say. He's back at training, but take that with a grain of salt, guys. Melbourne Storm, definitely still top 4. Yeah. And Jerome Hughes is injured for ages too, guys. You got to remember that. Melbourne Storm, top 4, definitely. Parramatta Eels, hardest team to predict. I actually had them as, I think, 16th or 17th. They're not last. They're literally, I'd reckon the ladder this year is going to be crazy. You thought last year was tight. I reckon 2026 is going to be even tighter. I reckon you're going to be 1 game away from top 4, 1 game away from just scraping in the top 8, 1 game away from missing the top 8, and 1 game away from getting last. I reckon there's going to be 3 games separating everyone. Anyone can win at any given time. So the strength of the schedule obviously is going to come down like buys, and injuries, obviously, but we can't predict injuries. Anyone could win. I have no idea where Parramatta is going to rank. I don't rate them personally. I just think they have enough X factor. Mitchell Moses, until proven otherwise, cannot stay in the park. I think everyone else has got it better too. Guys, please tell me. I know it's a Bulldogs segment, but please tell me, where the heck does Parramatta Eels rank in 2026? Now, also for the Fox Sports strength of schedule, games versus 2025, top 8 teams, you got 11. Games versus bottom 4 teams, you got 6. So in regards to your pros, according to Fox Sports, you got 2 of their 3 buys fall in the origin rounds. Great for potentially a Matt Burton, maybe a Jacob Preston, definitely a Stephen Crichton. These are the type of guys you look at. Only one origin impacted game against Melbourne Storm, and Melbourne is more than likely going to have origin heavy players. Munster, obviously top of my head. Harry Grant, obviously. After round 11, just 2 games outside New South Wales, low travel leading into finals. I've talked about this on my other podcasts, but I think travel is probably the biggest hindrance. Being in New South Wales is pretty ideal because obviously there's so many Sydney teams. I think, obviously 2 games outside of New South Wales after round 11, that's unreal. You've got your own training facility, you got your own bed, you got your friends around you, family around you, you got your kids around you. Everything's familiar, okay? And again, travel's not ideal for recovery, okay? It's not going to help a player get better in regards to getting back to full strength. Unreal Bulldogs, that is good for you. That is definitely a pro. A con, however, no home games until round 4 against the Knights. Knights will be better. Nasty entered the season with the Storm, Roosters, Panthers, Broncos in the last 6 weeks. That is a tough stretch. And guys, hate to say it, it's probably 50-50 in all those games. You could go 0 from 4 or you could go 4 from 4. More than likely, you're probably going to get 2 wins. But again, as I said before, you could be 1 win from the top 4 or 1 win out of the top 8. I predict your defense is going to carry you home, though. You got double ups against the Penrith Panthers, Brisbane Broncos, and Melbourne Storm. Not good, not ideal. They're juggernauts. They're going to be top 4 teams. So again, 6 is the hardest. Yeah, I don't know, guys. How do you reckon they're going to go this year regarding their strength of schedule? Let me know in the comments, guys. Now, I've been doing a top 17. I've also been doing a top 19 projected. This is your best team out in the park. I'm going to have some caveats, which I'll talk about throughout the podcast in regards to your top 19. I keep referring to a top 19 because Volandi keeps saying that there's going to be a rule change, and that rule change is with the bench increasing from 4 players to 6 players. However, only 4 out of those 6 players will be able to play. So, for example, jersey 14, 15, 16, 17 play, which means jersey 18 and 19 cannot play, even though they've been named on the 6-man bench. Jersey 18 and 19 will then be used as emerging reserves, like currently it is for the 18th man, in case there's head knocks or any other misdemeanors. Okay, so that is interesting to note. I've named them accordingly, okay, where they would be ranked. It's also important to note, guys, that there could be some changes throughout the year. Coach Serraldo is not afraid to make the change if he thinks that they're not a premiership winning team. Again, we talked about Matt Burton shifting to centre here and there. We've talked about Galvin potentially switching from 5'8" to halfback. We talked about Stephen Crichton shifting to fullback at times in the red zone at the back half of the year or the back third of the year. And obviously wasn't afraid to put Reed Mahoney on the bench and or drop him. He wants a winning team. So there will be caveats, but I'll explain them as we go. This is your best 19 Bulldogs fans. At fullback, I've got Stephen Crichton. Shoot me. I'm telling you, if you guys want to be top 4, you guys want to make a prelim, let alone a grand final, Stephen Crichton has to be your fullback. Prove me wrong. All signs indicate that he will be there. I don't see the point of having him being that roving fullback at the back end of the year just to see if anything changed. Okay, I think it was a bit of an experiment and a test run for 2026, personally. On the wings, I've got Marcelo Montoya and Jacob Kiraz, 2 mainstays from the 2025 season. I think they have great meter readerage, great in contact, good tacklers, bit of an aerial threat, particularly for Kiraz. Both good finishes. Kiraz has a good offload. Now, at centre, I've currently got Connor Tracey starting. Okay, so they've just swapped Critter and Tracey. However, the caveat, Matt Burton could get a smoky chance there at centre if Mitchell Woods starts at halfback. That is my caveat. If Mitchell Woods gets the starting halfback role, I think Connor Tracey, unfortunately, will be the unlucky man. I think he goes to be that utility off the bench. And again, I'll reiterate the final team at the end of this, but Connor Tracey starts the year at centre, and to accompany him will be Bronson Cherry. I don't see Bronson Cherry moving from centre at all. Connor Tracey, maybe. Matt Burton, maybe. Again, we'll talk about that later on. At 5'8", to start at round 1, I've got Matt Burton. Okay, Matt Burton, proven commodity at 5'8". Great kicking game, can goal kick, good in defense, can put a guy through a hole, big body, makes sense. Okay. However, caveat, Lachlan Galvin could be shifted there if Mitchell Woods starts at halfback. That's the only way that happens. Okay. Matt Burton will be the 5'8" unless Mitchell Woods gets that starting halfback role. That's the caveat. So then, if Mitchell Woods then starts at halfback, Galvin goes to 5'8", then Matt Burton goes to centre. Connor Tracey will be the unlucky man dropping out, and he'll be getting a bench position. However, to start at round 1, Matt Burton 5'8", halfback Lachlan Galvin. That's what they did at the end of the year. At front row, I've got Leo Thompson and Max King. Max King, mainstay from last year. Leo Thompson, your new recruit. Alpha male, big enforcer. He's going to be great for you. Bailey Hayward, he got the starting position at the back end of the year. Took that from Reed Mahoney's grasp, I guess you could say. I think he's going to be a mainstay there. Viliami Kickout and Jacob Preston, again, 2 mainstays as well. We talked about them in length at the start of the podcast. Great ball runners, big bodies, athletic, both international representatives in their own respect. Unreal. They're probably your 2 strongest positions. Lock. Could go either way. Could get a guy like Kurt Mann. Could get a guy like Jamin Salmon. Could get a guy like Satili Tupanua. Could even get a guy like Josh Curran. Currently, I have got Jamin Salmon. I think he retains that position at the lock. I like his aggression. He's got that dog in him. He's got that bulldog in him. Jamin Salmon will be the lock. He'll be the link man. Coming off the bench, I've got Kurt Mann. Could definitely be starting at lock. Don't get me wrong. He's an Origin representative. He's a workhorse. He's a workhorse. Does he make more sense coming off the bench? Maybe. Worked in Origin. Does he provide more X factor compared to Salmon? Potentially. Let me know in the comments, guys. Would you rather Kurt Mann or Jamin Salmon start at lock? I want to know your opinion in the comments. Jersey 15. I've got Satili Tupanua. The glaze continues. Ball runner. Destructive. Can play multiple positions. Great utility. Modern day forward. Gun. Absolute gun. I've got Josh Curran also in that middle/edge rotation. Probably more middle so than edge. Very serviceable. Big loss for 2027 when he goes to the Perth Bears. But yeah, he's your modern day front row. He's that perfect archetype. Now, going off contracts alone, I'm going Harry Hayes here. Big long-term contract. I'll quickly scroll up. Harry Hayes is there to end of 2029. The contract alone makes me think he's going to be a mainstay in your team. So I think he definitely jags a bench position. At Jersey 18, this is where we're going to have the utility outside back. So I've got Enray Tuala. I've got Tuala coming as your utility outside back. Can play wing, can play center. Has filled in the past in the outside backs when there's been injuries. However, if Mitchell Wood starts at halfback and then Galvin goes to 5'8", and then Matt Burton goes to center, I talked about Connor Tracey coming full circle. He would be the utility outside back and Tuala then drops off. However, I predict Connor Tracey will start at center and Tuala will be the utility outside back at Jersey 18. I've also got another middle coming off the bench. Super coach Nuff in Sam Hughes. Serviceable, big body, can help Leo Thompson and Max King. If you need a different sort of look comparatively to Tupanua or Josh Curran, or even Harry Hayes sort of vibe, yeah, Sam Hughes is that guy. Is he exciting? Not really. But yeah, that's what we definitely talk about. Some other guys we could definitely be talking about. So the rest of the squad, you got Hopboy, Jack Todd, Saluka Fafiti, Kay Dyke, Sean O'Sullivan, Mitchell Woods, Patrick Young. All these type of guys could get smoky extended bench spots depending on injuries, injuries more so than form in my eyes. So I think you're pretty stable overall besides the halfback. Again, huge domino effect. I think it's a question mark, guys. I need to know in the comments. I've said it multiple times, but Mitchell Woods, does he get a crack at first grade this year? If so, does everything change again? Does Mitchell Woods go to halfback, Galvin to 5'8", Burden to center, Crichton to fullback, and Connor Tracey to utility? Let me know in the comments. It's a great conversation point. And also want to know, does Sean O'Sullivan get a chance at first grade? Very steady hand. Timu Toby Sexton, very serviceable in regards to mentoring. I think that's one of the main reasons why he got signed. I've heard a lot of conversation about him being a future coach. Fantastic. Got a good footy brain on him. I think it's his dad, Peter O'Sullivan, who helped shape the Dolphins and their structure. Definitely one to watch. Now, big 2026 storylines. The Galvin, Mitchell Woods. Are they ready to unleash it? I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Are they ready to unleash that? If not, do they just be a little bit more safe and credit a fullback? That's probably one of the biggest storylines to look at. Is Leo Thompson enough? Do they need more middle depth? Definitely was something else. Is Bailey Hayward going to be sufficient at hooker? Do they need a guy like Chan Con Tom to come off the bench? I don't project him to at the moment. Do they need a guy like that? Maybe. I've heard he's training the house down, as they all say in the off season. Big things to see. Now, for again, who people haven't listened to my podcast before, I like to do the 2026 ladder prediction. Okay. And I also get ChatGPT to give me some cap or fact questions. So how we decide the ladder prediction. Okay. We look at their strength of schedule. We look at their quality of player. Is there any injuries going into the season? How do they went in 2025? And then we synthesize that and we give you an answer or a band of where they'll place. So in 2025, you guys rank third with a point differentiation of 120. We know that. Your roster's good. You beefed up your pack. You've got depth. Good. Your draw is tough, but certainly manageable. You're versing some very good quality teams, but everyone has to do that. Everyone has to do that. My call for 2026, the Canterbury Bulldogs will come between 4th and 6th. That's my guess. I'm struggling with all these podcasts, guys. I feel like everyone is 4th to 6th, but I don't think your top 3. I think your top 3 is going to be Penrith, Broncos, Melbourne. I think you just miss out. I could definitely see a Cronulla Sharks getting a sniff as a regular season beatdown of a team, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, 4th to 6th is my prediction. Still a top 4 team on paper. Your ceiling, premiers. Caveat, Stephen Crichton at fullback. Going to keep saying it. Stephen Crichton has to be fullback for you guys to win a premiership. But yeah, I definitely could see you guys reaching a prelim at the minimum as your ceiling. And your floor, you're still a top 8 team. Definitely a top 8 team. I don't see you falling below 8th. And that's pretty conservative. I think you guys will agree with that. But what do you think of my prediction, guys? 4th to 6th in 2026. Am I too high? Am I too low? What do you reckon of the ceiling? What do you reckon of the floor? Let me know in the comments below. And again, to wrap up the podcast, I mentioned before I get ChatGPT to write me a question regarding the Canterbury Bulldogs. Cap or fact? So cap being yeah, no. Fact being yes. Cap or fact, the Bulldogs stay a top 4 side. So guys, you came third in 2025. The Dogs stay a top 4 side in 2026 and finish 4th with Galvin steering the ship, or do they slide to the bottom half of the 8? I'm going to say I think you guys slide. I don't think you come in the top 4, unfortunately. I think you got to have a lot of things go your way. I think your attack being 10th is your kryptonite. I think teams are going to be better next year overall in terms of quality. I think rosters are beefed up all across the park. I'm worried about your attack. I'm certainly worried about your attack. Let me know, am I capping or am I facting? Because I need help. I'm struggling with this. But guys, that's your review. That's your 2025 review for your team. That's your 2026 preview. How have I gone? Let me know in the comments, guys. But I want you guys to like, share, tell a mate, Keep pumping up tackles and tinnies. All this positive momentum going into the season. I'm loving it. I'm loving the conversation, guys. I'm a school teacher by trade. I literally just talk for a living. I might be talking shit, but hey, I'm enjoying the process. I love Supercoach. Talk to me about Supercoach. Again, I'm bringing the boys on. We're reuniting. I'm the secret squad jumping back on the potty. Chris is going to be doing some position by position breakdown, which is probably going to be audio released. Send me your teams, guys, in the comment as well. Talk to me about the Bulldogs. Don't throw too much slander about the Gold Coast Titans. It's rude. We trying this year. Josh Hannay, he's bringing us back up. But yeah, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a mate about tackles and tinnies. I hope you enjoy your day. This was also filmed on the 1st of February. Up the doggies.